There is a place on this earth that already knows your name. Not the name on your documents, not the name people call you in conversation, but a name that has no syllables, a name that is felt rather than spoken, a frequency rather than a word. And the strangest part is not that this place exists. The strangest part is that some part of you has already been there. You have felt it in dreams you could not hold on to after waking. You have felt it in that sudden, unexplainable pull when a photograph of a landscape stops you mid-scroll and something in your chest tightens, not with pain, but with a recognition so deep it almost frightens you. You have felt it in the way certain coordinates on a map seem to hum when your attention passes over them, as if the geography itself is trying to get your attention. And if you are here right now, listening to these words, it is not because you stumbled onto this by accident. Nothing at this level of awareness is accidental. You are here because the gap between where your energy has already arrived and where your body still stands has become impossible to ignore. That gap has a texture. It feels like restlessness that no vacation resolves, like homesickness for a home you have never physically visited, like an itch beneath the skin of your entire life that no rearrangement of furniture or relationships or careers can scratch. And what I want you to understand before we go any further is that this feeling is not a malfunction. It is a navigational instrument. It is doing exactly what it was designed to do. Let me tell you something about how location actually works. Not in the way a GPS works, not in the way a real estate listing works, but in the way the deeper architecture of reality distributes consciousness across physical space. Because this is where the conversation has to begin if any of what follows is going to land in your body rather than just pass through your mind. In 1982, a physicist named Alain Aspect conducted an experiment in Paris that quietly shattered one of the most fundamental assumptions of classical physics. He took pairs of photons, particles of light that had been generated together from the same source, separated them by significant distances, and then measured a property of one of them. What he found, and what has been confirmed with increasing precision in every decade since, is that measuring one photon instantaneously affected the state of the other, no matter how far apart they were. Not after a delay, not through any signal traveling between them. Instantaneously. As if the distance between them did not exist at all. This is quantum entanglement, and it earned its place in physics not because it was elegant or convenient, but because it was undeniable. Bell's theorem, which Aspect was testing, had already mathematically demonstrated that no theory based on local hidden variables could reproduce the predictions of quantum mechanics. Aspect's experiment proved it empirically. The particles were not secretly carrying pre-assigned instructions. They were genuinely connected in a way that transcended space. Now, mainstream physics is careful, and rightly so, about extending quantum phenomena to the scale of human experience. Decoherence, the process by which quantum effects dissipate in complex, warm systems, is real and well documented. I am not here to pretend that your body is a photon, or that entanglement works the same way at the scale of a human life as it does at the subatomic level. But here is what I want you to sit with. The principle that Aspect revealed. The principle that two things born from the same source remain fundamentally connected, regardless of the apparent distance between them. That principle did not come from nowhere. It is woven into the fabric of what reality actually is at its most basic level. And if it is true at the foundation, then the question is not whether connection across distance exists. The question is what forms it takes as you move up the scales of complexity, If you are feeling that connection stir in you right now, here is something I want to share. Have you spent years chasing manifestation, visualizing, affirming, raising your vibration, only to watch the same patterns repeat? Every traditional method assumes the same thing, that you are separate from what you want. That separation was never real. You were chasing a signal you were already broadcasting. Beyond the frequencies, a quantum guide to consciousness mastery walks through all 9 frequencies, from the dense transmissions trapping you through the ascending currents to the master frequencies where consciousness becomes the field. Every method you tried sent a signal outward. This one tunes the signal you already are. Every day you delay, your nervous system broadcasts the same old signal, and breaking free gets harder. So move on it tonight. The link is in the pinned comment below. Now, let us return to the deeper thread of how that connection lives in you. Your soul, if we are going to use that word, and I think we should because no clinical term captures what we are actually talking about. Your soul did not originate in the town where you were born. It did not begin when your mother's body formed yours. There is a longer thread, and that thread connects you to specific places on this planet, the same way aspects photons were connected to each other. Not through proximity, not through logic, through origin. Think about what it means for 2 things to share an origin. It means they were once a single system. It means the information that defines one is not separate from the information that defines the other. And when one changes state, the other responds. Not because a message was sent, because they were never actually apart. This is what is happening when you feel that pull toward a place you have never been. Something in your field and something in that location share an origin point. And the feeling you get, that tightness in the chest, that sudden aliveness, that sense of remembering something you cannot quite name, that is not imagination, that is resonance. That is 2 entangled systems recognizing each other across what only appears to be distance. But here is where it gets more specific and more useful, because it is not enough to say you are connected to a place. You need to understand the mechanism by which that connection communicates. And more importantly, you need to understand why it is communicating now. There is a phenomenon in physics called resonant frequency. Every physical structure, from a bridge to a wine glass to a tuning fork, has a natural frequency at which it vibrates most efficiently. When an external vibration matches that natural frequency, the structure absorbs energy and begins to oscillate with increasing amplitude. This is how an opera singer can shatter glass. The sound wave does not need to be powerful. It needs to be precise. It needs to match. Your body is a physical structure. It has a resonant frequency. Not a single one, but a complex harmonic signature, a chord rather than a note. And that signature is not static. It changes as you change. Every belief you release, every trauma you integrate, every moment of genuine presence you sustain shifts the harmonic profile of your field. You are not the same instrument you were 5 years ago. You are not even the same instrument you were 5 months ago. And here's the critical piece. As your frequency shifts, the set of environments that resonate with you shifts too. The place that once felt like home, the city that once energized you, the landscape that once calmed your nervous system, these may no longer match. Not because they changed, because you did. And the discomfort you feel in your current environment is not the environment's fault. It is the sound of dissonance. It is what happens when a tuning fork is placed on a surface that cannot carry its frequency. The vibration has nowhere to go. It turns back on itself. It becomes agitation, restlessness, a low-grade hum of wrongness that you cannot locate because you keep looking for the source outside yourself, when the source is the mismatch itself. If this is resonating with you, if you have felt that hum of wrongness and never had a framework for understanding it until now, take a moment and hit the like button and subscribe to this channel, because we go deep into these frequencies together, and there is so much more ahead. Meanwhile, somewhere else on this planet, there is a place whose resonant signature matches the frequency you have become. And the longing you feel is not longing in the way you have been taught to understand longing. It is not desire for something absent. It is sympathetic vibration. It is your field already oscillating in response to a signal that is reaching you from that location. The way a tuning fork on the other side of a room will begin to hum when you strike the one in your hand, if and only if they share the same frequency. This is why the feeling is so specific. This is why it is not a vague wish for change, but a pointed, almost physical sensation that seems to have a direction to it. Because it does have a direction. It is not metaphorical. Your field is literally responding to a resonant match, and that match exists in a specific place. Now I want to talk about why this is happening now, because the timing is not arbitrary either. There is a concept in developmental biology called competence. It does not mean what it means in everyday language. In biology, competence refers to a cell's ability to respond to a specific signal. A cell can be surrounded by growth factors, hormones, signaling molecules, and if it has not yet reached the stage of competence, it will not respond. The signal is there. The cell is there. But the lock and key have not yet matched. The cell is not yet ready to receive. And then, at a specific point in its development, something shifts internally. The cell expresses the right receptor on its surface. And suddenly, a signal that was always present becomes visible, becomes actionable, becomes a command that the cell can finally obey. Nothing in the environment changed. Everything changed inside the cell. This is exactly what has happened to you. The place that is calling you has likely been calling for a long time. The signal was always there, but you were not yet competent to receive it. Your frequency had not yet shifted enough. Your receptors, if you will, had not yet been expressed. You were still in a developmental stage where the old environment was necessary, where the density and the compression and the forgetting served a function, where you needed the friction of a place that did not quite fit in order to catalyze the internal changes that would eventually make you ready for the one that does. And now you are ready. Not because you decided to be, not because you performed enough spiritual practices or read enough books or meditated enough hours. You are ready because the developmental process reached its threshold. The internal shift happened, and the signal that was always there suddenly became audible. That is why the restlessness intensified recently. That is why the dreams became more vivid. That is why the pull became impossible to rationalize away. Your competence arrived. The receptor expressed itself, and now the signal is deafening. I want to pause here and ask you something. When did you first feel it? When was the moment the signal became impossible to ignore? The moment you knew something was pulling you toward a place or a version of your life that did not yet exist? Tell me in the comments. because your story might be the exact confirmation someone else in this community needs to hear right now. But let me be very precise about something, because this is where people often go wrong. The signal is not telling you to run. It is not telling you to flee your current life in a panic, to sell everything tomorrow, to make dramatic external changes before the internal alignment is complete. The signal is telling you to orient. There is a profound difference. Think about a compass needle. When a compass is brought into a magnetic field, the needle does not leap off the compass and fly toward magnetic north. It orients, it turns, it aligns itself with the field, and once it is aligned, it holds steady, and then the traveler can move with confidence because they know which direction is true. Your soul is doing what the compass needle does. It is not asking you to leap. It is asking you to turn, to orient your attention, your awareness, your inner gaze toward the signal, to stop fighting the pull and instead let yourself feel it fully. Let it show you its direction. Let it calibrate your internal compass so that when the time comes to move, and it will come, you move with precision rather than desperation. This distinction matters enormously, because desperation and precision look completely different from the outside, and they produce completely different results. Desperation is the ego hearing the signal and panicking, trying to force the physical reality to match the energetic shift before the alignment is complete. It looks like impulsive decisions, burned bridges, frantic searching. And it almost always lands you in another version of the wrong place because you moved from the energy of escape rather than the energy of arrival. Precision is what happens when you let the orientation complete itself. When you sit with the dissonance long enough to let it clarify into direction. When you trust that the gap between where your energy is and where your body is, that gap is not a problem to be solved, but a process to be honored. The bowstring has to draw back before the arrow can fly, and the drawing back is not the opposite of forward motion. It is the prerequisite for it. I want to take you somewhere now, not physically, not even imaginatively, in the way that word is usually meant. I want to take you into a specific quality of attention, because this is where the practice lives. And without the practice, everything I have said remains intellectual, remains conceptual, remains something you agree with rather than something you embody. Close your eyes if you can. If you are driving or walking, soften your gaze instead. Let the visual field become peripheral rather than focused, and bring your attention to the center of your chest, not to the surface of your chest. To the interior, to the space behind the sternum, where you have felt every significant emotion of your life. The grief, the joy, the love, the heartbreak. That space is not metaphorical. There is a measurable electromagnetic field generated by the heart, and it extends several feet beyond the body. The HeartMath Institute has documented this extensively. The heart's electromagnetic field is roughly 60 times greater in amplitude than the brain's and can be detected by magnetometers at a distance. When I ask you to bring your attention there, I am asking you to tune into an actual field, not a concept. Now, from that space, I want you to ask a question, not with words, not with your thinking mind. I want you to ask it the way you would feel a question, the way a plant feels toward light without having a word for light. The question is simply this: where? Not where should I go, not where would be practical, not where makes sense, just where. Let the question be open. Let it be empty of agenda. And then wait. What you are doing in this moment is something very specific, You are using the heart's electromagnetic field as a sensing organ. You are bypassing the brain's pattern matching, its habit of generating answers from past data, and you are letting a different kind of intelligence respond. The heart processes information differently than the brain. It responds to coherence. It responds to resonance. And when you ask it where without attaching conditions, it will orient toward the signal the same way the compass needle orients toward north. Not with a street address, not with a zip code, with a feeling, a texture, a quality of air, a color of light, a sense of openness or enclosure, of altitude or sea level, of warmth or cool, of solitude or community. Whatever arises, do not judge it. Do not analyze it. Do not ask whether it is realistic. Realism is the brain's domain, and the brain will have its turn later. Right now, you are calibrating. You are letting the instrument do what it was designed to do. And the information it gives you in this state is not fantasy. It is data. It is frequency data, translated into the only language your conscious mind can receive, which is sensation and image and felt sense. Hold whatever arose for a moment. Let it settle. And then gently, without forcing, let it go. You can return to it. It will be there. The signal does not stop transmitting because you stopped listening. It has been transmitting your entire life. You are just learning to tune in. Now I want to address something that I know is moving through many of you right now, because it moves through everyone who reaches this stage of the process. It is the voice that says, "But I cannot. I have obligations. I have a lease, I have a family, I have a job, I have debt. I have a life that is built around where I currently am, and I cannot just follow a feeling to some place I have never been." And I want to honor that voice because it is not wrong. It is not the enemy. It is not the ego trying to keep you small, not exactly. It is the part of you that understands that physical reality has weight, has momentum, has inertia, and that part is correct. Physical reality does have inertia. Objects in motion tend to stay in motion. Objects at rest tend to stay at rest. This is Newton's first law, and it applies to lives as much as it applies to billiard balls. But here is what Newton's first law also says, and this is the part people forget. An object will maintain its state of motion unless acted upon by an external force. The signal you are receiving is that force, not an external force in the crude sense of something pushing you from outside, but a force in the precise physical sense of something that changes the vector of your trajectory. The signal does not need to overpower the inertia of your life. It needs to introduce a new vector. A slight change in angle. A gentle, persistent redirection that, over time, over months, over the organic unfolding of events that you could not have predicted or manufactured, curves the path of your life toward the destination your field has already identified. This is how it actually works for most people. Not as a dramatic rupture, not as a sudden departure, but as a slow, undeniable curving. Opportunities appear that point in the direction of the signal. Connections form with people who are already in or near that place. Resources shift in ways that would have seemed unlikely 6 months ago. Doors close behind you, not with violence, but with a quiet finality that makes it clear they were not meant to stay open. And doors open ahead of you, not all at once, but one at a time, each one requiring just enough courage to step through before the next one becomes visible. The soul does not ask you to leap into the void. It asks you to take the next step, and then the next, and then the next. And each step, because it is aligned with the signal, with the resonant frequency of where you are meant to be, carries a quality of rightness that is unmistakable. Not ease necessarily, not comfort, but rightness. The feeling of a key turning in a lock it was cut for. I am curious about something. What is the one thing in your current life that you already know has finished its purpose? The thing you have been holding on to not because it still serves you, but because letting go feels like losing part of your identity. Write it in the comments, not to confess, to release. Sometimes naming it is the first act of the transition. There is something else I need to name here, because it is operating beneath the surface of this entire process, and most people never become conscious of it. It is the relationship between memory and anticipation, between the past and the future, and the way your soul uses both of them as navigational tools. There is a phenomenon in neuroscience called prospection. For decades, the dominant model of the brain was that it was primarily a reactive organ, processing incoming stimuli and generating responses based on past experience. But research over the last 20 years, particularly the work coming out of Martin Seligman's lab at the University of Pennsylvania and the neuroimaging studies by Donna Rose Addis and Daniel Schachter, has fundamentally revised that picture. The brain, it turns out, is primarily a prospective organ. Its default activity, what it does when it is not engaged in any specific task, is simulate the future. The default mode network, that constellation of brain regions that activates during rest, daydreaming, and mind-wandering, is constantly generating models of possible futures, running scenarios, testing outcomes, rehearsing experiences that have not yet occurred. And here is the remarkable finding. The brain uses the same neural machinery to remember the past as it does to imagine the future. The hippocampus, the region most associated with memory formation, is equally active during future simulation. Patients with hippocampal damage cannot remember their past, but they also cannot imagine their future. Memory and anticipation are not two separate functions. They are the same function pointed in different directions. Now think about what this means for the experience you are having. When you feel that pull toward a place, when you close your eyes and sense the quality of the air there, the light, the feeling of being there, your brain is not distinguishing between remembering and anticipating. It is running the same process. And this is why the longing feels so much like nostalgia. This is why the place you have never been feels like a place you are returning to. Because at the neural level, the experience of imagining your future there and the experience of remembering a past there are computationally identical. Your brain literally cannot tell the difference. But what if that is not a glitch? What if the reason the brain cannot distinguish between memory and anticipation is that, at some deeper level of reality, the distinction does not exist? What if the place that feels like a memory is a memory, not of this life, but of a configuration of consciousness that has existed before, or that exists outside of linear time altogether, and is now pressing itself into your awareness because the moment of convergence has arrived? I am not asking you to believe this. I am asking you to notice that the feeling itself does not behave like ordinary imagination. Ordinary imagination is thin. You can direct it, reshape it, dismiss it. This feeling is thick. It has weight. It persists even when you try to think about something else. It returns in dreams without your permission. It intensifies when you are in states of deep relaxation or meditation, precisely the states where the default mode network is most active, precisely the states where the boundary between memory and anticipation dissolves. That persistence, that thickness, that quality of arriving rather than being generated, that is worth paying attention to. Not because it proves anything in the scientific sense, but because it is data, and you are the only instrument sensitive enough to read it. Let me tell you about a pattern that the Arcturian framework describes, and I want to be transparent about what I mean by that. I am not claiming to channel beings from the star system Arcturus in the way that word is sometimes used. What I am pointing to is a model of consciousness, a framework for understanding the relationship between awareness and location that has been articulated across multiple contemplative and esoteric traditions, and that some people organize under the name Arcturian because it captures something about the quality of the intelligence involved, a quality that is precise, architectonic, concerned with structure and placement, and the geometry of consciousness in space. Within this framework, there is an idea that is remarkably consistent across traditions, and it is this: the soul does not incarnate randomly. It incarnates at specific coordinates, both temporal and spatial, that correspond to the work it came to do, and as the work evolves, as the soul completes certain phases of its mission, the coordinates update, not metaphorically. Actually, the place that was right for the first phase of your life may not be right for the second. The environment that provided the exact density, the exact friction, the exact relational and cultural context you needed for your initial development may become actively counterproductive once that development is complete. This is not unlike what happens in embryology. In the developing embryo, cells migrate. They do not stay where they were formed. A cell that begins in one layer of the embryo may travel across the entire developing body to reach its final destination, guided by chemical gradients, by signaling molecules, by what biologists call morphogen fields, invisible gradients of information that tell each cell where it belongs in the larger body. The cell does not decide where to go. It responds to the field. And the field is not random. It is exquisitely organized, a precise map of the body that will be, written in the language of molecular concentration. Your restlessness is the morphogen field of your larger life, telling you that your current position in the body of your existence no longer matches where you belong. The signal is not vague. It is not general. It is specific to you, to this moment in your development, to the particular work that is emerging through you now. And just as the migrating cell does not need to understand embryology to follow the gradient, you do not need to understand the full architecture of what is happening to you in order to respond to it. You just need to stop overriding the signal with logic. I say that carefully, because I am not against logic. Logic has its domain, and within that domain, it is indispensable. But logic operates on known variables. It extrapolates from past data. And what is happening to you right now is not an extrapolation from your past. It is an emergence from your future. The signal is coming from a configuration of your life that has not yet materialized in physical reality, and logic, by definition, cannot navigate towards something it has no data for. This is where a different faculty is required. Not intuition in the soft, vague sense that word is sometimes used. Intuition in the precise sense, the direct apprehension of truth without the mediation of reasoning. The knowing that arrives whole, without steps, without evidence, without justification, and that turns out to be accurate not because you figured it out, but because you received it. This faculty is not mystical in the sense of being otherworldly. It is biological. The enteric nervous system, the so-called second brain in the gut, contains over 500 million neurons and produces over 90% of the body's serotonin. It processes information independently of the brain. When you feel something in your gut, when you have a gut feeling about a place or a decision, that is not metaphor. That is a complex neural network processing data that your conscious mind has not yet accessed. The body knows things the mind does not. And the body's knowing about place, about where you belong, is often far more accurate than the mind's analysis, because the body is responding to the full spectrum of information: electromagnetic, chemical, vibrational, while the mind is limited to the narrow band it can conceptualize. So when I say your soul has already chosen its next location, I am pointing to something that operates across multiple levels simultaneously. At the quantum level, there is entanglement, the non-local connection between systems that share an origin. At the biological level, there is resonant frequency, the way your body responds to environments that match its harmonic signature, and morphogenetic guidance, the way developing systems are drawn toward their correct position by invisible fields of information. At the neural level, there is prospection, the brain's constant simulation of future states using the same machinery it uses for memory. And at the experiential level, there is the unmistakable feeling of being called, the pull, the longing, the sense of recognition that defies rational explanation. None of these levels is the whole story. All of them together begin to sketch the outline of what is actually happening when a human being feels drawn to a place they have never been, or feels the growing impossibility of remaining where they are. I want to give you something practical now. Not a practice in the sense of a ritual you perform once and forget, but a method of ongoing calibration, a way of staying in relationship with the signal so that when the physical movement begins, and it will begin, you move from alignment rather than anxiety. Every evening for the next cycle of days, however many feels right, I want you to do something very simple. Lie down, close your eyes. Place one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly, and for 3 breaths, just feel the weight of your own body against whatever surface is supporting you. Do not try to relax. Do not try to meditate. Just feel the weight, the gravity, the contact between your body and the earth beneath you. After 3 breaths, let your attention drop below the level of thought, below the level of image, below the level of story, into the pure sensation of being a body in a place. And from that level, ask the same question you asked before. Where? But this time add a second layer. After the where, ask how does it feel to be there? Not what does it look like? How does it feel? What is the quality of the air against your skin? What is the temperature? What is the sound? What is the feeling in your chest when you are there? Is there expansion or containment? Is there warmth or coolness? Is there solitude or the feeling of being surrounded by others who understand you without explanation? Collect these impressions the way you would collect fragments of a dream. Do not try to assemble them into a coherent picture. Just notice them. Night after night, they will begin to cohere on their own. They will begin to form a pattern, a signature, a vibrational address that is more precise than any GPS coordinate because it is tuned to your specific frequency rather than to the grid of human geography. And here is the part that will surprise you. As the impressions cohere, you will begin to notice that physical reality starts to respond, not in dramatic, miraculous ways, in small, almost imperceptible ones. A conversation with a stranger that mentions a place you have been sensing, an article that appears in your feed about a region you have never researched, a job listing, a housing opportunity, a connection, a coincidence that is not a coincidence, appearing at the exact moment you are ready to receive it. This is not the universe rewarding your spiritual practice. This is resonance doing what resonance does. When you tune your field to a specific frequency, you begin to attract and notice information that matches that frequency. It was always there. You just were not tuned to it. The physicist David Bohm, who spent the latter part of his career exploring the relationship between consciousness and physical reality, proposed a model he called the implicate order. In Bohm's framework, what we perceive as separate objects and events in the physical world are actually expressions of a deeper, undivided wholeness. The way a hologram contains the entire image in every fragment, the implicate order contains the whole in every part. And what we experience as movement, as change, as the unfolding of events in time, is actually the progressive unfolding, the making explicit of what was always already implicit, always already present in the deeper order. If Bohm is right, and there is a growing body of theoretical physics that takes his framework seriously, then the place you are being called to is not somewhere you are going. It is somewhere that is unfolding. It was always implicit in the deeper order of your life. And what is happening now, the restlessness, the signal, the slow curving of your trajectory, is the process by which it becomes explicit. You are not traveling toward your future. Your future is emerging through you into the physical world, one step at a time. And this is why forcing it does not work. You cannot force an implicate order to unfold faster than it unfolds. You can only participate in the unfolding. You can only align yourself with it, orient toward it. Remove the obstacles you have placed in its way, and let it arrive at the pace of its own intelligence, which is a pace that your mind will almost certainly judge as too slow, because your mind operates on a different time scale than your soul. The mind wants the answer now. The soul knows the answer is already here and is simply becoming visible. There is a grief that comes with this process, and I do not want to skip over it, because skipping over it is one of the ways people sabotage their own transition. The grief is real. It is not a sign that you are making a mistake. It is a sign that you are leaving something that mattered. The place you are in now, the life you have built, the people you have loved within it, these were not errors. They were not detours. They were the exact context your soul needed for the phase of development that is now completing. And honoring that, feeling the full weight of what it meant and what it cost and what it gave you, is not an obstacle to moving forward. It is the completion of the phase. It is the bow you take before you leave the stage. Grief and anticipation can coexist. They are not opposites. They are the two hands of transition, one holding what was, the other reaching for what is becoming. And the moment you try to amputate the grief, to skip ahead to the excitement, to spiritual bypass your way past the sadness of leaving, you leave a part of yourself behind. You arrive at the new place incomplete. And incompleteness at the point of arrival creates the very patterns you were trying to leave behind. So feel it. Feel the grief. Feel the gratitude. Feel the strange, bittersweet beauty of a chapter ending. and let the feeling complete itself in its own time, without rushing it and without wallowing in it. It will tell you when it is done. You will know because the grief will transform, not into its opposite, but into something quieter, a kind of tender clarity, a soft knowing that it is time, not because the old place failed you, but because it finished what it came to do. And then the compass needle, which has been slowly, steadily orienting this entire time, will settle. And you will feel, not think, not hope, not wish, but feel with the full weight of your body and your field and your ancient, patient, luminous awareness, exactly which direction to walk. The place is real. The signal is real. The timing is real. And you, in all your complexity, in all your doubt, in all your magnificent, imperfect, still becoming humanness, you are ready. Not because you have arrived at perfection, because you have arrived at the precise frequency that matches where you are meant to be next. Your soul did not consult your mind before choosing. It did not wait for your circumstances to be convenient. It did not ask permission from your fear. It chose the way a river chooses its path, not by analyzing the terrain, but by following the gradient, by moving toward the lowest point, the point of least resistance, the point where the water and the land are in their most natural relationship. And now the river of your life is curving. You can feel the curve. You have been feeling it for months, maybe longer. And the only question that remains is not whether you will follow it. You will. The current is too strong and too true to resist indefinitely. The only question is whether you will follow it with your eyes open, with your heart engaged, with your full presence brought to bear on the most sacred transition of your life so far. I think you will. I think that is why you are here. I think the fact that you stayed with these words this long, that you felt what you felt when you placed your hand on your chest, that something in you recognized the signal I have been describing, not as new information, but as confirmation of something you already knew. I think all of that tells you something about the readiness you have been doubting. You are not lost. You are in the gap. And the gap is not empty. It is full. It is the most information-dense space in your entire journey. The space where the old frequency and the new frequency overlap, where the past and the future are both present, where everything you have been and everything you are becoming exist simultaneously. It is uncomfortable because it is potent. It is disorienting because it contains more reality than your mind can process at once. But your body can hold it. Your field can hold it. And the place that is waiting for you, the place that already knows your frequency, the place where the air will feel like the air in your dreams, that place can hold it too. Consider listening to this again tomorrow morning, before the noise of the day begins, and let these words recalibrate your field while it is still quiet and open. And if someone came to mind while you were listening, someone you know who has been feeling that same restlessness and calling it anxiety or failure, send this to them. When you share something that carries this frequency, you do not just pass along information. You activate the signal in their field the same way a struck tuning fork activates a silent one across the room. You become part of the Morphogen gradient that guides them toward where they belong. And in doing so, you strengthen the gradient that is guiding you. Let it unfold. Trust the curve. Honor the grief. Follow the signal. And when you arrive, and you will arrive, you will understand why it took exactly as long as it took. not a moment too long, not a step wasted. Every compression, every forgetting, every night of restlessness, every dream you could not hold on to, all of it was the gradient. All of it was the Morphogen field, guiding you to the exact position in the body of your life where you were always meant to be. The coordinates are already written in your chest. You have been reading them all along. You just did not know that the ache was a language. Now you do if something in this moved through you, if you felt the signal strengthen as you listened. Take one small action that honors that. Share this with someone who is in their own gap, someone who has been calling their restlessness a problem when it is actually a compass. Leave a word in the comments, not for me, but for yourself, a marker that says, "I was here, I felt this, I am ready," and come back. Because the signal does not stop, it evolves. And the next time you listen, you will hear something in it that you could not hear today, because you will have moved, even slightly, even by 1 degree, closer to where you belong. The place is real, and it has been waiting for you with the same patience you have been waiting for it.